Hey guys, Mike Goldstein here of EasyDatingCoach.com. Welcome to the live stream. I need you guys to bear with me because I'm doing this all by myself. No one's interviewing me. But thank you for stopping by. I'm so excited for this. I've got a little bit of an agenda in terms of what I'm going to teach, but I'd so much rather have you guys ask some questions and have the agenda based on exactly what you guys want. So if you go in the chat section, ask me anything in regards to dating, in regards to relationships, communication, how men work, what's going on in your specific dating life. Maybe you've got a hot date coming up and you want to talk about tips. Maybe some guys disappeared and you're wondering what's going on. Write it out and I'm going to get you some answers. All right. So today's topic, before we get to what you guys ask, is how to be the sexiest woman on the planet emotionally and get your man ASAP. And this was not my finest work in terms of title creation, but the content is excellent. So here we go. So the first question I wanted to talk about is, why do men pull away or ghost women? And it's so interesting. So let's talk about the two phases that you could potentially be on with a man. We've got when you're just dating and it's early on, and you've got in a relationship. And so when they disappear at different parts of the phases here, you're going to do something different. So let's say you're just starting dating and you're on anywhere from date 3 to like date 8, where nothing's really been cemented. You're not exclusive. You've built a little bit of a relationship. You've built some chemistry. You've talked about figuring out if you have the same values. But ultimately, you're not entirely sure where this is headed. And now the guy disappears, whether it be you text him, he doesn't respond, or he doesn't talk to you for a week, or anything to that speed of things. So if he does that, there's one thing for you to do. That one thing is you should just forget about him. It's too early for him to be disappearing. It's too early for him not to be delivering on what you're looking for in a partner. And it's not worth worrying about or stressing over. So hopefully all of you have amazing lives and you've got things going on. And it's almost like you realized, because maybe you liked him, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, well, it's only been 6 dates and my life is so incredible. I've got a great job. I've got good family. I've got good friends. I've got things going on where, oh, well, I'm going to go back to my awesome life. And this guy blew his chance at dating the queen. He could have had the queen, but he blew it. Now, if he does come crawling back, and I would say first get curious a little bit. Like, so where'd you go, my friend? And if it is legitimate and you believe him where there's something that really happened, my dog died, someone was in the hospital or something really happened, and you feel like you want to give him another chance, that's up to you. But if there's no good reason, for me, that's not acceptable. We need someone who is showing up, who is making things happen. All right, I messed this thing up, so I can't see your question, so I'm going to fix this. So let me just turn this on, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing with live clearly. So I think I've got it working. All right. Hello from London, Lisa Marie. Nice to see you. Guys, if you have questions, go in there. I would love to answer them versus doing the agenda I have set. So anything in regards to dating, relationships, sex, love, commitment, that would be wonderful. Okay. So now Why do men pull away or ghost? We talked about dating. I want to move over to if you're in a relationship. I'm going to turn this off. This thing's making me nauseous. Sorry, I have like 3 cameras that are all showing me moving, and it's interesting. Okay, relationships. Why men pull away. So let's say you've been dating for 6 months, a year, and you're wondering where the heck this guy went. And I want you to first understand how men work, and then we're going to determine what we should do with him. So the way the male brain works is vastly different than the way the female brain works. And I'd like to talk about that for a minute. So first of all, let's talk about how awesome women are. So in terms of women, we all know we have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain. So women have 10 times more receptors going between the left and right hemisphere. So this is really cool for women and really crappy for a multitude of reasons. So the awesome thing is that women are constantly communicating with both sides of their brain. And this is spectacular. So they can be on their logical side, they can be on their emotional side, they can have a lot more happening, and they are better at multitasking than men. And as humans, we're not good at multitasking, but women are better than men. This is scientifically proven. So if you want to go argue with men, realize that when we say men are single focused, there's science behind this. You just have more receptors. This is just how it is. And so this is amazing. Women are better at multitasking. And when they're processing things, they're using both sides of their brain. So that's amazing. Now, men on the other hand, 10 times less receptors, going between both the hemispheres. So what that means is a lot of the time they're just staying on one side. What's cool about this for men and not so great for women is when men have a wildly stressful day, for example, they go to work and their boss chews them out and they're like, oh my God. And they come home and you can see it in their face. They're just like, like, that was not a good day. And you say, honey, go sit on the couch. I'm going to get you a beer. I got you right now. And he goes and watches, football or TV for an hour. He actually is able to turn that side of his brain off, use the other side to just kind of stare at the TV. And he's just all of a sudden alleviates his stress. So this is freaking incredible. That's what's amazing about men is you give them that time and all of a sudden they reset and they're like, I'm feeling pretty good. And I want to expand upon this. So men, in terms of stress, there's 2 ways for them to make things better. One is what we just talked about is, all right, there's nothing I can do about it. I rack my brain. There's nothing I can say or do to my boss that's going to fix this. So I'm just going to watch TV. So he feels better by kind of vegging out, relaxing, turning that side of his brain off. Or the second thing is he solves problems, completes tasks. So if he's like, man, there's a lot of things to do around the house. I need to vacuum. I need to go pick up milk. I need to go pick up Johnny from soccer practice. I need to do this. And so if he accomplished all these tasks, he actually starts to feel better. Testosterone goes back up. He's completing things, and that's great. Now, women on the other side, they're not turning off any of their brain. They're constantly thinking. So even if they watch TV, they're still thinking about that stressful situation. So that's the big difference. Now, how does this apply? Hi, Karen. Nebulous. That's a cool name. I love that. Men are great. They just enjoy the shit out of us. All right, Karen. I love that. Thank you. And Lisa Marie. We got 2 from the UK. I like it. So guys, if you have any dating relationship questions, hop in there and ask me. I'd love to talk about that. And so guy disappears. We're in a relationship. What should you do? So we understand now that he needs to take some time. Let's see how he returns. So if you are a sophisticated woman that understands how the male brain works, when he disappears for a minute, you're okay with it, especially if you built a contract with him beforehand where you've decided that when he wants to disappear, maybe he comes to you and says, hey, Karen, hey, Lisa, you're absolutely fantastic. I love you. I'm going to be your partner for a long time, maybe forever. I'm dealing with some stress. I need a minute. And then he goes off and you let him go. Now he shows back up. How does he respond? Does he come up to you, give you a big hug and say, I love you, and try to win back your affection? Or is he just grumpy all the time and he doesn't care about you and he's not making you feel special and he's not validating that you're here and you have your own emotions and you care and you matter? Well, that's something wildly different. So, how does he come back? Karen, I go by actions, not by words. I love that. That is so spot on. Yeah, so does he show up? Does he give you a hug? Does he want to take you to dinner? Does he want to talk about future plans? Does he want to introduce you to friends and family? Is he talking about future steps? Does he see a future with you? Are we talking about buying a house together? Are we doing all these things? And do we actually follow through? So I love that. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Next question. And guys, interrupt me. Ask me some great questions. I don't want to talk about my stuff. I talk about this all day. I want to talk to you guys. What do you got for me? Next one on my agenda is, when should you consider being exclusive with a man? So we started dating. We're dating for 30, 60, 90 days, and we like them, and we're trying to figure out what we should do. And I think the biggest thing in regards to figuring it out is evaluating how you feel all the time with this guy. Not when you're with him, but all the time, how do you feel? Because I hear so often from women that when they're with the guy, they're like, man, it is magical. He makes me feel amazing, and I love everything about him. But then the woman separates from the man, and now she doesn't hear from him that often, or when she texts him, he doesn't respond so quickly, and blah, blah, blah. And says, then she describes when they're not together that she feels anxious. And think about that. If you're considering a life partner, if you're considering exclusivity, do you want to feel anxious? Like, do you? Like, when I think about it, when I'm talking to you guys on the phone and I'm like, so what do you want in a partner? You go, well, I want to feel cherished. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel special. I want to feel like I'm the only woman in the room. I want to feel like he's listening to me and he loves listening to me and he enjoys talking to me. No one and never does the word anxious come out of anyone's mouth. Oh, I want to feel anxious when I'm with this guy. Like, that's insane. Now, if you are, feeling that, maybe you can talk to him and be like, hey, like, you'd make me so happy if I could hear from you more often, or it'd be amazing if we could see each other more often. I have so much fun with you, and you make me so happy if we can do X. So does he step it up? But if we're still feeling anxious, how can we possibly consider this person as a partner? That's insane. So that's out there. But if we're feeling happy like 98, 99% of the time, and we're feeling excited by even the behavior between dates, where we're not feeling anxious, we're feeling secure, we're feeling happy in the relationship, now that's exciting. Now, on top of what we're feeling, what are our what are the values that he has, and do they align with mine? And sorting through not only like the values I have in life, but what are my relationship values? What's important in a life partnership? So it's okay if your values don't line in terms of life perfectly, but what are our relationship values? And if so, do they mesh? And if they do, that's a good sign. And then, of course, do our interests match? Can we have fun together? Like if you're the outdoorsy type and you like to go hiking, biking, sailing, and all that stuff, and he's more of a, introvert, stay inside type of person, that probably doesn't work. So you guys with me? Say yes if you're enjoying this and this is helpful. And bear with me. I'm going to read a lot of your comments and see if we've got something to talk about. Lisa Marie, what a phenomenal question you asked. Should the man ask for exclusivity first? And she says, I think so. I love that. So, what a great question. Let me think. So, I think in the ideal world, yes, the man, because the man is the hunter, we would like that. So I think we give a man, assuming you're seeing each other at least once a week, you decide your time frame. And I love women that have this boundary up front. And, it can be a little gray, but if we're going to be successful in dating, we should have some parameters on what we're going to put up with and what our system is. So I like a woman that says, all right, a man, if we're seeing each other once a week-ish, he has 60 days or he has 90 days to get exclusive with me. If he doesn't, then I'm probably out of here. So we go 60 days and all we do is have so much stinking fun with this guy that he would be absolutely miserable if after 60 days he has to say bye to you. He'll be like, no, I don't want to say goodbye to Lisa. She's fantastic. I have the best conversations with her. I've never felt this connection. So let's say, though, the guy doesn't say anything by the 60, 90-day mark. What are we going to do? And so what I say is then you have a conversation. Let's say we're at 90 days. We've been hanging out once a week. So that means it's been about 12 weeks. We're on like date 13, 14. Maybe you doubled up a little bit. You're on like 15 dates and you're wondering where you're at. So for some of you, it should just be a conversation like, hey, I really like you. What's going on? What are we doing? Or if you want to be a little saucy and a little spicy, which I love, you can just say, let's say his name's Evan. Evan, I've had the most spectacular time with you over the last 15 dates or however many, and you are fantastic. I'm looking for a relationship and ultimately heading towards a life partnership. And it would appear that you're not looking for the same thing. So even though you're fantastic, I'm going to have to leave and find someone that's looking for the same thing as me. So I wish you well. And then you walk out. Now, Evan is either going to say, whoa, I want a relationship with you. Where are you going? Get over here. Or he lets you walk out. And what I love about this system is we only wasted or used 60 to 90 days. Instead of getting in that, 3 months, or excuse me, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Shoot, I have a woman that I spoke to who's been with a guy and they're not exclusive for 10 years. And now she's just so wrapped into the guy on an emotional level. It's so difficult for her to say no at this point. Don't get there. Can you imagine 10 years and you're not moving towards life partnership? He's not giving you what you want. Yet you don't have the willpower to leave at this point. And I'm not judging this woman. Like, if you're with someone for 10 years, there's a lot there. And it is hard to leave. And for those that have gotten divorced, You've been there, you get it. Like sometimes you stick around because you made a commitment and you're trying to work things out, but you just can't get there. So, Lisa, did that answer your question in terms of what you asked? Give me a yes. I'm going to read some more of these and see if we got some more things to talk about. Just give me 1 second, guys. Ooh, Karen Malloy. Did I pronounce that right? Why do men feel the need to say thinking of you during early days? Is this for them or for us? What a great question. I love this. So why do men do that? They think that's what you want to hear most of the time. They think it's for you most of the time. They think they're getting closer to you. They think you want that reassurance. They think you need it. A lot of men have dated women, or even some men think like they don't understand the courting process. Some men go from, I met you, now we're in a relationship, so I'm going to treat you like we're in a relationship, and here's what I do when I'm in a relationship. I tell her that I'm thinking of you, that I miss you. And imagine, like, a lot of women, if you were dating for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and he said, hey, I'm thinking about you, you'd go, oh, that's nice. But if he does it on, date 2, date 3, you're like, what the heck? Does this guy have no life? Like, doesn't he have work? Or like, what is he doing? Doesn't he have a life? So that's why some men are doing it. They go from dating, or they go from I know you to now I'm in a relationship, and they skipped a lot of steps. And there's a lot there that they just forgot about. Now, let's forgive the guy. He may not, like you, be studying dating relationships and how men work. He's just winging it. So let's try to be, forgiving of him. So let's communicate with him, and this is a great opportunity to bond together. Ask him why he's doing that. You may get something good out of him. You may be like, well, most likely he had a girlfriend in the past that required that or wanted that. And maybe he didn't even enjoy doing it. He's like, well, I just thought I had to do it, for 3, my last relationship that was 5 years, I had to do that. And she needed that reassurance. And so I've gotten into that pattern, and that's how I think you date. And you go to him, I don't need that. That's sweet of you. That's really sweet of you. But, I'd rather just keep getting to know each other. And you're so cute. Like, thanks for doing that. But let's just, keep moving. And he's probably thinking like, whoa, this Karen Malloy, she's got this confidence and this like swagger to her that she doesn't need reassurance in right now. And I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this sexy, confident, independent woman. And it's going to take me a second to adjust. But this is freaking sexy. And this is exciting. And I want to keep getting to know her and see what else is under the covers here. So, Karen, bask in this. You're about to, like, 1, find out why he does things, but 2, there's a good chance that he's going to be like, whoa, like, this woman's got something special. So assuming this is happening to you right now, like, get pumped up. This is going to be really cool, most likely. So let me know how that goes. Definitely send me a message. Lisa Marie, great answer. What if it's a long distance dating? Oh boy, long distance, Lisa Marie. So for everyone watching, I can't stand long distance. John Gray just put out a study that he did. I think he put it out just a few months ago, where he said there's 200,000 soulmates for every person. So think about that. You've got 200,000 people that make sense for you. So why would we date someone that lives far away? Like, it's hard enough to date someone that's right there, let alone someone who's however many miles. So for everyone watching this, date local. Like, just do it. Start local. If for some reason you really can't get it done local by yourself, like, first of all, hire an amazing coach like myself. But then if for some reason it really can't happen there because maybe you're just in a town of 10 people or whatever, then, you know, instead of a 25-mile radius, go to 50, then 100 and get bigger. But, and I know, you know, things happen. You're traveling and you meet someone, you're like, this guy's amazing. Don't get caught up in that. Like, all right, they're amazing, but stay local. Anyway, sorry, Lisa, that didn't answer your question at all. Great. And long distance dating, how long till you're being exclusive? I assume that's your question. I would talk to the guy. And first of all, how often are you seeing each other? How often are you talking? How's the connection? Are the values aligned? How are you feeling? Are you feeling happy, excited, not anxious? And things are so different. Like, if things are amazing, like, you know, long distance is so complicated because let's say you're just seeing each other on the weekend. On the weekend, you have this like euphoric level of seeing them where it's not real dating, where just like if you were normally dating, all right, so you probably go like kind of like that, versus long distance. Every time you see each other on the weekend, instead of like this, oh, this is fun and we're going high and all right, next date and all right, it's going. It's just like, I see each other, amazing. Oh, all right, it's here. Oh, we're together again up here. And it's not real life. And so then what happens a lot of the time for long distance partners, and then all of a sudden they're in the same city, and it's like, oh, I don't know if we have the skill set of how to communicate to each other. And so it's tough. So you definitely want to talk through like how you'd handle situations with your long distance partners. Like, if we live together and this happens, what would we do? How would we communicate? If we get into a fight, how are we going to have a fight? So working through that stuff. Man, I went off on a tangent again. This is what happens when we have these live streams. I just like start talking about things that I feel like talking about. And I love all of you for putting up with it. Long distance. So I would say around, 60, 90 days, just talk about what the plan is. And if you really want to be exclusive, go for it. The one good thing about exclusivity that is not marriage, as quickly as you say, hey, we are exclusive, if you realize it's wrong, you literally can say bye. So get comfortable. It's okay to say, hey, I'm just going to focus on you because I'm excited. But it's also okay to say, hey, we're done. So I think people need to get more comfortable at being willing to say, all right, we're done quicker. And that's okay. If it's not meant to be, just get out of there quick. And that's wonderful. All right, I'm going to read some more of these. Hi, Sunshine. Karen, on the first date, said I was out of his league. I assume reassurance needed. Well, he's reassuring you, or you need to reassure him? I'm confused. So maybe you can write that out to me. Boston Barbie doll. Very few men approach me. They will say things like, you look like, or are you a model, or just smile, but that's it. All right, so you must be very attractive. This is a good thing. So how do we make you more approachable? I got you. And a lot of you are going to be intimidated to do this, but I will tell you a story. If any of you ever go on my testimonial page, Isabella, who got married about 2 years ago-ish, I remember, I think I had her, let's say 3.5 years ago, she was my client, and I took her to Chelsea Market in New York City. And I'm like, I'm going to teach you how to hit on men. And if any of you have been to Chelsea Market, it's just like a gazillion people just zooming up and down this one hallway. And so I was like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to wave at a dude that you think's cute, and then you're going to say, come here. And then you're going to talk to him and see how that goes. She was one of the best I've ever seen at this ever. She was holding court. She sat down, she'd wave a guy over, they'd talk for 5 or 10 minutes, and if they liked each other, maybe they'd exchange numbers. Then if she didn't like the guy, she'd be like, all right, well, that was fun, see ya. And she did this to about 10 different guys. I think she got 2 or 3 phone numbers, I can't remember. And she did that in 40 or 50 minutes. It was unbelievable. But for our Boston Barbie doll, the big thing here is, instead of making eye contact or smiling and that old dusty advice of like, just stare at him. No, no. Wave. Reason being, if we just smile, men are afraid of rejection and they don't really know what you staring at them smiling like means. They're like, all right, maybe she likes me, maybe she's smiling, I don't know. But mostly I'm in my head and I'm nervous, she's good looking, like I don't know what to do. And quite frankly, I'm like thinking about a million things and not thinking about hitting on women right now, so I'm not going anywhere. But if you wave at him and then he's got to do something, oh my God, something's happening, something is required of me, someone's waving at me, and he's going to either, if he has no interest in you, be like, whoa, or he's going to be like, me? Or if he's like, whoa, hot woman is waving at me, he's going to be like, so he's got to do a reaction. And then if you get you wave at him more and you go, yeah, you. And now once you're getting something like this, come here. And once he comes over, he can get credit for the, the pickup, if you will. And he can say, hey, Boston, how are you? And you can talk. But this is, fishing with real bait. Instead of smiling, and men are terrified of rejection and scared and nervous, this is making him feel safe. He's not getting rejected. Come here. So he feels secure. It requires action instead of the smile where he can just, sit there and do nothing and stay in his bubble. And this works everywhere, at the bar, at the grocery store, at the park, wherever you want. This is how you fish. And I love it because you don't even have to say anything. You're fishing. Toot, toot, come here. And a lot of you are terrified of this, but for those who want to try it, I can promise you, you're going to get amazing, amazing results. All right, Karen Malloy, what are you saying? Oh dear, I think I scare him then. After a few dates, his interest waned. Therefore, acknowledged this and said I was getting off the bus. Reply was, I guess I shot myself in the foot. Karen, I wouldn't be so critical of yourself. If the guy disappears this early, he just wasn't interested for whatever reason. And most likely it has nothing to do with who you are or anything. And do not beat yourself up. Think about, if you're going to choose your life partner and you get one, and we do believe there's 200,000 for you, but you get one, you should be wildly picky. And that should be, you should be picky and he should be picky. And maybe he documented, these are the 5 things I want, just like you should do. These are the things I want in a man. These are the things, my non-negotiables. Maybe you had 4 of them, and then on date 2, 3, whatever, he figured out you didn't have the 5th one. And so then he moved on. But it is challenging, but you should never really be concerned about why a guy disappears that early. I mean, who cares? Like, I don't know the reason, but frankly, don't look inside yourself when it's that early. I understand when women, when you have a 2-year relationship or, a 4-year relationship, and you're like, well, what was my role that was good here? What did I do wrong? And if you're looking from a very strategic purpose, not beating yourself up, but like, hey, I want to get better at dating and relationships, that's a healthy way to improve yourself. But if you're going to be like, oh, I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy and I'm old, I got big, I'm not as skinny as I was, and all this stuff, that's not healthy and that's not constructive. Everyone's that's watching this is fantastic, and everyone's clearly wants to work on themselves. That's why you're watching this. So that's amazing. And everyone that's watching this right now, just go give yourself a pat on the back, because the stat is, and I hate to say this because this is probably going to make some grumpy people, but 90% of self-improvement books are bought by women and only 10% by men. But let me turn that around. It's exciting that you women are working on yourselves. But because I know that stat, a lot of my teaching, I teach you kind of not how to manipulate your man, how to partner with him, but how to give him the tools to partner with you effectively. So, right now I may not be coaching men, but I will coach women. And in turn, because they become experts and become great at this, they're going to transfuse their knowledge onto men. So at a 10,000 foot level, I am, I'm getting the knowledge to men just through you wonderful women that are willing to receive my knowledge. So thank you for helping me. All right. If you guys have more questions, pop them over there so I don't have to go back to my agenda. I'm going to read some more of your stuff and see if we have fun things to talk about. Lisa Marie, you are welcome. Karen Malloy, I needed to reassure him that I was not out of his league. That's not your job to reassure him. He should be coming confident. I'd like to think in an idealistic world, he was saying that to compliment you, not to bring himself down. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay if you have one comment like, no, you're really cute and I like you, and then move on. But if you have to constantly come back to telling a guy like, no, you're great, no, everything's fine, like, come on, like, you're the man, you're the hunter, like, you're supposed to be coming with this confidence. That's not attractive. And it's not attractive on either sex if a woman's going down on herself like, oh, I'm not pretty, I'm not smart enough. Like, it's not attractive. But, we all do need reassurance, of course. We all sometimes look in the mirror or have bad days and want reassurance. All right, what else? Boston Barbie doll. Thank you for the advice. Anything other than waving? The wave is the most effective thing ever. Well, actually, excuse me, the most effective thing, but this is even more terrifying, is just going up to a man. If you're at a restaurant and you've got 15 minutes to your table's ready, you're at the bar and you see a cute guy, first off, you can go like, come on. But if you want to be aggressive, and a lot of you are like, well, what about feminine energy, masculine energy, letting him chase, all that stuff? Don't worry about that. You can go up to him and say hello. And why should you be comfortable to do that? Because I am a man, and I will tell you that if a pretty woman comes up to me and starts talking to me, I am not thinking, ugh, I can't believe this pretty woman is talking to me. I mean, come on. I'm like, woo, a pretty woman's talking to me. Like, yes, let's go. Like, life is amazing. What did I do to get so lucky? And every man is thinking the same way as me. Woman comes over, it's like, yes, thank you. Life is good. And it's amazing. We didn't have to think of something to say and blah, blah. Now, a lot of you are like, I don't want to do that. And that's fine. That's why I have the wave, and then get the fishing rod out and bring him in. And now he gets credit for hitting on you. And I can't reiterate enough. The smile and the 3-second stare, the 5-second stare, the percentage chance of the guy coming over is so much lower than this. And the problem is the stare and the smile has been taught for the last 150 years, and no one wants to give you the updated come here, which just quite frankly crushes and does so much better work. So all of you watching this, get rid of the stare and try this. All right, what else are we talking about here? Karen, I am the prize. You got that right. You are the prize. You are the queen. And one of these days, a king will step up, make you feel like a queen, and you'll still, it'll just be easier. And I can still help you with some advice, but it's just going to be a lot easier, and you're not going to deal with bad behavior or less of it. It'll be easier. Boston Barbie doll. Karen, yes, you are. I agree. Karen, do men actually still want to be the hunter? I've got a date coming up and in a conversation, he was saying that if a woman didn't message first often, then he'd lose interest. It's a minefield. I'm going to answer this. I need some water. All right. I don't know if you guys have heard this story before. One of my very close friends, PhD data scientist, wildly introverted, loves Bumble. On Bumble, if you don't know, the woman messages first. So he loves it. He's like, all right, I swipe, I get some women, they message me first. I don't have to think of anything. Like, beautiful. All right, so you go on a date and it goes okay. What do you do? I asked my friend. He goes, well, I usually see if they text me or do something. And then if they do, maybe I go out with them again. Like, that's reasonable. And he's wildly introverted, super smart, successful, good looking though, and desirable from women, and mid-30s. All right. What about when you wildly like the woman? What do you do? He goes, oh, in that case, I text them, I call them, I do whatever I need to do to get them on another date. Oh. So the moral of the story is, men, if there's a 10,000-foot wall, they don't care. They're going to either break through it or climb that puppy to get to you when they see you as the queen and they see you as the prize. Now, if they don't see you as the prize or the queen, that's okay. That means that's not your guy. We want the guy who sees you in the way that, what we're looking to accomplish. We want you to be the queen. We want this guy as the king, treating you amazingly. So that's what we're doing. And then in terms of, do men still want to be the hunter? The answer is yes. It just can get kind of, the problem is like some men out there are going to tell you what they think they want, and they really don't know. It took me many years of doing what I do, and I've been doing this for, over 10 years. Is I can ask men what they want, but then I have to go a lot further and ask them why do they want it. And soon you'll realize that sometimes they're just not able to articulate what they really need. And it's because they haven't spent enough time. They haven't spent 10 plus years. And, the other people in this industry that have spent, 30 years and done scientific research for us to really document what they truly need and what's going on in the brain and what keeps a man truly there for life partnership and happy. So be very careful. Because men, and even in long-term relationships, when they've been with you for 20, 30 years, are going to say, hey, I want this, I want this. And that might be the wrong answer for them. So you really want to dive deep with men and say, well, why do you want that? Like, what is that giving you? And if all these questions, land somewhere with like, well, I want that because I'm not feeling important. And then, when you do X, it fills me up. I feel so supported. I feel so appreciated. And when you did it, this example, when you did that, like that just brought me immense happiness. That sounds like a guy that actually thought about this and kind of, went from A to Z in terms of, wow, this is actually something I need. Versus a lot of men are really just spitballing and saying what they think they need. So just be careful. All right, Karen, I don't message first. All right, so I got to be very careful. I don't talk about online dating enough, which is crazy because I'm the number one online dating expert in the country, and I get 83% of my clients in relationships, and I use an online dating system that I've developed. But as women, if you go on traditional sites, you absolutely should be messaging men for a multitude of reasons and doing it in a very high volume. For all you women out there, and I want you to respond and type a yes if you agree with me on this. But when a man messages you on OkCupid or Match.com or any of these big sites, you want the message to reference something in your profile, something specific so that it proves he read it, to make you feel special, and ask you a question. And so tell me if you agree with that. And I think a lot of you will, that you want to feel special in this message, that he actually read it and you're not just another pretty face. On the flip side, ladies, men don't care what you write. Thank you. Christine says yes. Thank you, Christine. Who else has got a yes for me? Men, on the other hand, if you send them something like, hey, how are you? What's going on? That's fine. You can send the exact generic message to 50 guys, whatever you want to send, and it doesn't matter because he doesn't get many messages. And if he thinks you're pretty and the profile matches, he doesn't care what the message says. We got another yes. Thank you, Sunshine. So ladies, if we're as a team, as a species going, hey, our goal as a species is we want to procreate, we want to get together, we want to have life partnership, we want to fall in love, we want to have amazing partnerships, and we want to do this in the most optimized effort as a team, of a team that wants to get people together. With that being said, women can way more efficiently get to men by messaging. So a man needs to spend about 10 minutes to find someone he likes, read the profile, and then write a message crafted to that. At least 10 minutes. Versus a woman, she finds a guy, copy and paste. And so what I suggest is women actually message 50 men in 20 minutes. And so of the 50, they ask 50 on a date, And then 12 of the men, each time she sends 50, so 50 messages, 20 minutes, 12 men say yes to a date, and every week you pick one. And my system's called the 50-12-1. Now, with this system, imagine every single week you have 12 options, you pick one, and now you repeat this 6 to 8 times. Imagine that. That's going to, once you repeat that 6 to 8 times, you're going to find someone you like. And so that's what I teach all my clients that are single, that want a relationship. And then, of course, we spend time on how men work. But with that system, you can fall in love. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a yes. I'm going to read some more questions. Sunshine. I love this. I definitely wait for people to reach out to me first. I like to see what they bring up to start a conversation, and if they're well spoken, and lay out what they want and have to offer. I totally get what you're saying. You want someone articulate. You want someone that, is on your level, that makes sense. But let me give you some data. 95% of incoming messages do not make sense for you. So if you get 20 messages, only one of them makes sense for you. So imagine if you then go out to 50 men, 12 of them come back, and maybe 2 or 3 make sense for you. You're still getting to see, did they, when they respond, is it in proper grammar? Is it articulate? And then you read their profile, and it's, after they respond, you're like, a lot of the same values, a lot of the same interests. This looks good. So I'd rather see you do some work after they respond. That's when we're seeing if a guy makes sense. All right. I need to do something for you guys that I forgot to do. I want you guys to be allowed to set up a 15-minute strategy session with me. This strategy session, so obviously I'm in business to gain clients. So if you guys think I could help you, if you're single and want to go to a relationship and would like my help, go sign up for this strategy session. It's going to give you access to my calendar. So I'm going to plop that in here. I just posted that, and you should be able to click that if you guys want to get on my calendar and consider becoming a client, being a part of the 83% that I get into a relationship. I would love to help all of you, especially since you guys ask great questions. All right, let's do some more questions. And then I gotta hop in a little bit, but we'll go for a little bit longer. So if you guys have a question, make sure you ask it now, because I definitely need to end this at some point. I have a soccer game in a little bit. Is this a red flag? He said, Karen Malloy, is this a red flag? He said, all my exes say they finish it because I'm too nice. Huh. That is interesting. So think about that. A guy is nice or too nice. I like nice guys. Frankly, I only work with nice guys, and frankly, I only work with nice women. If I don't think you're nice, I don't take you on as a client. That's just, I'm not interested. I want to enjoy. I started this to help awesome people go find awesome people, fall in love, and stay in love. So no, that's not a red flag, but I think there is a little something to that. Maybe, it's a yellow flag, if you will, if we're using the stoplight, and yellow means slow down. It's yellow in the sense, well, it's barely yellow. He's saying that everyone broke up with him. I'd want to be really curious. And this is so barely yellow, but I want to know, like, I guess, assuming you've been dating for a while, like, why did these relationships end? Or why does he think they ended? Or what do you think you did wrong? Or did anyone give you feedback? And if he says, like, yeah, XYZ, I do wrong, well, are you working on it? Like, if there is something intrinsically wrong that this guy's doing in his relationships that's sabotaging, and I doubt it's being too nice, is he working on it? Or maybe, you know, he was so nice that he got walked all over and he just never stood up and said, hey, I need XYZ to be happy, and this is what I need. And so women didn't feel comfortable because, you know, they weren't attracted to him because he wasn't a man, quote unquote. Maybe that's it. But with all that being said, like, just talk to him and get to know him and get to know what's going on. And then you can determine what you think. And obviously you're a smart woman, whether you think there's issues here. Does that make sense, Karen? All right, let's see what else we got. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. I apologize. Is it Luis or Lois Bettard? Congratulations on meeting your 13 men in 4 months. That's pretty good. I like that stat. And of the 13, 2 of them are great for you. All right. So that's almost 1 out of 6. So that's a little 17% of your dates are towards, you know, potentially being partners for you. So 1 out of, okay, not bad. Karen Malloy, she says, I said someone can't be too nice. Was it a cop-out for them to give a pure reason? I don't fully understand that. But no, I like your response. You can't be too nice. I kind of agree with that. I love nice people. You know, who doesn't want a nice person? All right, I'm going to talk, unless you guys write another question, I'm going to talk about one more thing. And then we will get out of here. Let's see. I want to talk about setting sexy boundaries. So first of all, actually, no, I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about, I don't talk about this much because I feel like so many other coaches talk about this and it's overdone. But I want to talk about my relationship with it. So like everyone talks about, like, a woman needs to be happy in their life and then they can get a partner. And I think in the past few years, I always got like kind of annoyed by that advice. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, it's true. But I'd get annoyed because it's like, it's so general. Like, how am I supposed to put that into action? Like, so I need to be happy and then I can go get a man. Like, what the heck does that mean? But there's something so magnificent about a woman that's got her life together, got her act together. And like, for me, I have this mental picture of what that really looks like. So imagine me, this, like, let's pretend I'm this big, strong man, and I'm just stationary, and I'm her rock that is always going to be the same. And I'm going to be her rock, her man that's going to protect her, make her safe and secure. And she is just this woman that is smiling ear to ear, dancing around me, having the best time of her life. And part of the reason she's able to do this is because she feels so safe and secure and so happy in her life and so abundant that she's just like loving life. And I'm just here being strong and being her protector and ready to, and noticing her dancing and looking at her and telling her she's beautiful. And when she communicates, I'm listening and just wide-eyed, big open ears, because like it's music to my ears to listen to her, to learn from her, to share with her. And that's beautiful. And so for you women out there watching, like it's so important, and you can do this while in partnership, but finding the things that make you happy outside of the relationship, or if you're single, finding the things that make you happy and having these activities. Because even when you get to that relationship, you want to have all these things. You want to have your friend group. You want to have your activities. Because like we talked about earlier, the man, the way his brain works is he needs to shut it down. And so if you guys are spending all your time together, if you want him to be his fullest self and you want him to love you and make you feel loved and cherish you and always come to you with those wide eyes and that big smile, like just so happy to be around you, well, he's also going to need time away from you, just like you need time away from him. And so if you have your activities that are already built in, where you go to bar class, or you do yoga, or you go to chess club, or whatever you do, and you have your friend group and you go there, well, all these activities, then when it's, your time together, your big, strong man, once again, he's just like, oh, I'm so freaking lucky to be with you. So, I encourage all of you, if you haven't found your activities and your things, go find that. And if you've lost yourself, if you're in a relationship and you've kind of lost access to your activities, your friends or your family or whatever, go sit down with your partner and say, you're freaking amazing. I love you. I need to refine some of the things I love. Like, would you mind if I start making an effort for this? And, I want to talk to you about this and get on the same page. And I want you to be my support system while I go rebuild all these things I used to love. And so imagine, like, if you're in that relationship, you can have this amazing partnership and you can still have your activities and have this abundant lifestyle that builds this amazing house for you to live in. So I want to leave you guys with that is, including myself, we're no longer going to live in this small, like, just, these silos of like, I want my relationship or I want my abundant lifestyle. We're going to have everything. And so for all of you watching, we're getting everything. We're getting the man who is the king, who treats you like the queen. We're going to have our entire amazing life. And this is what we're deciding to do. And so I love all of you. Live vastly, abundantly, get everything you deserve, everything you want. Do not allow bad behavior. You are absolutely magnificent and you deserve to be treated that way. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to this live stream. If you enjoyed this, go in the comments, hit like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. But tell me that you want me to do this again. And if you have preferences on what time, I'm on East Coast currently. So, put EST or PST or whatever time zone you're in and request what time you like. Feel free to put in comments like topics you'd like me to talk about next time. That'd be wildly helpful. And guys, thank you. I love you guys. And I will put out a pre-recorded video on Tuesday. And we'll do a live stream maybe in a few Thursdays. But I'm losing my voice from this one. This was a lot of talking. So I got to gain that back. Love you guys. We'll see you. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. Bye.